This video is actually putting the iPhone 12, or let's just say all of the phones that were released by Apple yesterday, on a scale and seeing how much disappointment came with these phones to host consumers from Apple. So there's a few features that we were really hyped for, that we kind of expected on this year's iPhones that didn't make it to this iPhone. But to start with, according to some analysts, it is believed that Apple did not include the 120Hz promotion display because they already implemented 5G in this new series, or this new lineup, the iPhone 12 lineup, and they believe that the 5G is a huge battery drain, or let's just say power consumption feature. And if you combine that with the 120Hz refresh rate of a display, then it's really going to tell on the battery life. Now, for the very small percent of my viewers that don't know what 120Hz is, 120Hz display, okay, basically let's start from saying that regular displays on smartphones up till now, from most regular smartphones, about 60 Hz refresh rate. So refresh rate deals with the frames per second that your screen puts out, and this is very useful in looking at multimedia on your device. Probably you're scrolling through the web, or you're reading something online, or most importantly for gaming, right? So the refresh rate of your screen makes the responsiveness of your screen more tactile. Don't hold me to that word, right? You remember I said I don't know most of the words that I use on this channel, but yeah, you get the point. It makes your screen more responsive, makes it very fast, and makes it fluid, so you get a very nice experience, especially when you're using it for like graphic intensive stuff like gaming, like editing, right? All these very small interfaced editing apps on your phone. If you have a very good refresh rate screen, it will be really nice. So we were really expecting the 120Hz refresh rate display on this year's iPhone lineups, but yeah, it's not coming, or it didn't come. So they believe that the 5G coupled with the 120Hz promotion display, like on the iPad series, will probably take a really huge toll on the battery. Now, if you ask me, I would say the better thing that Apple should have done, in my opinion, is to make two variants of these phones. Or let's just say, okay, since they released 4 phones yesterday, they released the iPhone 12 mini, the iPhone 12, the iPhone 12 Pro, and the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So you could actually restrict the 5G feature to the higher end of the higher end models, like the Pro and the Pro Max, right? And make these two models in 2 variants. Alright, so you make a variant that has just the 5G capabilities. So this is a 5G tuned smartphone, just like what Samsung did with, I think, the S20 and the S10. Yes, so just make a particular variant that is just tuned for the 5G. So you can't have the 120Hz display on this device, but you definitely get 5G. And you make another variant that actually supports the 120Hz, that has the 120Hz display but has no 5G. So that way you're putting one battery monster over the other in one phone at a time, right? So there's just one power consumption, and the users can really decide what they want. A person like me would definitely any day right now pick the 120Hz refresh rate display. That is so long to say, 120Hz refresh rate display. Can I just please see the promotion screen? But you get it. I mean, I would take the 120Hz over 5G any day. My typical conditions right now, because my country doesn't have 5G, but 120Hz is very nice. Another thing we're looking forward to as a consumer community and Apple fans is that there will be a reduction in the size of the notch on the front of the phone, let's just say on the screen. You see, since the introduction of the notch on the iPhone X, there was 2 people, so it was very hard. It was a very hard sight. You either like it or hate it, right? And for most of us, we've come to love it. And of course, while it has its obtrusions and distractions and all of that in everyday usage, it still looks great sometimes, right? And it makes the phone stand out mostly. But most of the renders this year, just before the Apple event, and just suggestions and guesses about what the iPhone 12 will look like, had the notch looking smaller, right? Because it would have actually looked more compact and more screen real estate area if this notch actually got reduced. But no, Apple decides that you guys don't need a smaller notch, that screen size is enough. Instead they introduced something that is the Super Retina XDR display. What is the thing with Apple and long names though? I mean, okay, they call it, you know what, I did not even call the full name. It's actually really called the OLED Super Retina XDR display, which we will get to in the later part of this video. Also, and now I might be wrong about this because there were times while I was watching the event yesterday that my service just crapped out, right? My coverage was really bad, but there was no announcement whatsoever as regards the battery life. Of course, they wrote better battery life somewhere on the charts that was displayed to show all of the new things that came to the iPhone 12 over the iPhone 11 or just the previous generations, but there was no substantial information about the battery life on the iPhone 12. And the guess of a random person would be that the battery life on the 12 is just same as the 11. But hey, here's the thing, I believe that the battery life on the 12 will suck. Why? Because yes, there is 5G now, and for the small percent of users that will really enjoy 5G and just use it often, you'd really experience power drains and all of that, because now there was no 5G on the iPhone 11, and yes, the 11 Pro Max had the greatest battery in an iPhone till last, or let's just say till 2 days ago, or till yesterday before the announcement. Now there is 5G to contend with, and with you turning on 5G, I am telling you, yes. And now you combine that with the Super Retina XDR display, and yes, that is a huge power drain if you're using it, especially when you're outdoors a lot of the time and you're using it at the brightest and you know all of that. Yes, the battery will definitely not last as much as the iPhone 11. Now the only chance that the battery will probably last as long as the iPhone 11, or just better, I doubt that, but the only chance is if there is some sort of software optimization going on with the A14 Bionic chip, like Apple always does, optimizing the battery and just how apps uses the battery and all of that. So it's very, very possible that Apple has done some optimizations on the A14 Bionic chip. Also, you know, no offense Apple, but not all of us are filmmakers and want to, you know or use Dolby Atmos 10-bit recording videos, right, over the default video app in the camera, or let's just say the default video functionality in the camera app. I mean, yes, they introduced Dolby 10-bit vision, Dolby Vision. It's just very, very confusing. You get the point. It's 10-bit Dolby Vision recording, video recording capability. And really, I still don't understand what usefulness, it remains to be seen actually, what usefulness this would be to the random user, or let's just say the average user in their everyday life. You know, there's a very, very huge percent of users of iPhones that get the iPhones because of the cameras, right? And there is no doubt that iPhone has been the champion of video making, let's just say making videos on smartphones till date. But taking this, yes, this could be revolutionary, but I doubt that, looking from the way that it was talked about yesterday. So basically, Apple has announced that now the iPhone 12 has the capability to record 10-bit Dolby Atmos videos. Did they include the, no, I don't think it's Atmos, I'm sorry, Dolby Vision video recording 10-bit capabilities. So basically it's actually going to be able to record videos, grade it on the fly as you're recording the videos. It is grading the videos according to Dolby Vision color science, and doing all of this on your smartphone instantly and delivering it back to you. Now the real question is, will the average user care enough to want to try this feature out, and just how much improvement does this have over the regular camera, or let's just say the regular video recording capabilities up to 4K 60 on the smartphone? And of course, like I said earlier, the iPhone 12 is more aimed towards the serious photographer and probably the videographer than the regular just regular users. But it remains to be seen how good this Dolby Vision HDR video capability will be over the default video recording capability. Now another gripe, and let's just say the final and the most annoying gripe that I have with the iPhone 12, is the exclusion of a power adapter and earbuds in the case. All right, so for the most part of 2020, we've been hearing about rumors that Apple might stop shipping their phones with power adapters and earbuds. I really chose to disbelieve this for the longest time. I just didn't want to believe it. Like, Apple, would you really do that? Would you really do that? But then, I mean, Apple has always been known for doing things that are really shocking and unbelievable. So, yes, and they claim that the initial reason they are doing this is because of the environment, right? So because of some carbon policy they're pursuing to get to by 2030, and just how it saves the environment from waste, they have decided that they are going to remove the power adapters and earbuds from the case, and now your phone is going to ship with just your phone in the box and a charging cable, which is going to be a USB-C to Lightning cable. Okay, another reason why Apple claims they removed these two items from the box is to reduce cost, right? Because of the inclusion of 5G, it is very, very expensive to actually have 5G in these phones. So we have to remove, or they had to remove, the power adapter and the earbuds to reduce the prices. But well, they're still really expensive. But yeah, that's something to get to eventually. So basically, these things that I've mentioned so far are my gripes and disappointments with the iPhone 12, right? And there was so many expectations around these things that I've talked about. I mean, the 120 Hz promotion display, the reduction of the notch, the power adapters that were removed, the lack of increase in battery life, and 5G being the only thing that Apple has released for this new set of iPhones.